Podemos? Viva, prezados internautas da TV Belas, o nosso muito bom dia, sejam todos muito bem-vindos. Nós estamos na Baixa da cidade capital angolana, estamos exatamente numa unidade hoteleira, onde vai começar dentro de alguns instantes o Fórum de Igualdade do Género. Este fórum, que de resto é uma organização do Comitê Olímpico Angolano e também numa coorganização da Associação Angolana à Mulher e o Desporto. Vamos rapidinho à conversa com uma senhora, ela atende pelo nome de Matthew Hung, ela que é membro do Comitê Olímpico Internacional e também é coordenadora da comissão. Miss, good morning, welcome to Angola. First of all, we would like to understand from you what do you expect from this forum?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. The aim of the forum, the Gender Equality Forum, is for us to come and check the progress that we've made in the past 4 years as members of the Zone 6, Anoka Zone 6. So members are going to share what they have done, and then from that, then we are going to establish what still needs to be done so that we can be able to reach parity on the field of plays. Just recently in the Paris 2024 Games, we saw that there was 50% representation of athletes. Now there has been a lack or a gap in terms of coaches at that level and technical officials. So the expectation out of this forum is for us to draft or come out with a strategy for the upcoming 4 years, 2025 to 2028, as in how do we close the gaps that we see from the past quadrennium.
Okay. Thank you very much and good for como dizia a senhora que atende pelo nome de Matthew Hung Ramokopo, ela que é membro do Comitê Olímpico Internacional e também a coordenadora da comissão desta que é a Zona 6. Dentro de instantes vai começar este fórum Igualdade do Género da Zona 6, que é acolhido em Angola, na Baixa da cidade capital angolana, numa organização do Comitê Olímpico Angolano e numa parceria. Esta organização é da Associação Angolana à Mulher e o Desporto. Vamos ter também neste fórum, dentro dos instantes que começa, como oradores, vai dar as palavras de boas-vindas o presidente do Comitê Olímpico Angolano, Gustavo Vaz Dias da Conceição, vai também proferir palavras, expectativamos também estar aqui presente nesta atividade, Sua Excelência Ministro da Juventude e Desporto Rui Falcão, mas está presente também na mesa e vai ser um dos preletores. Neste primeiro painel, o Sr. Alfred Fococo, ele que é o presidente da Associação dos Comitês Olímpicos da região austral, da SADEC, que compreende também a Zona 6. Este é um fórum que, de resto, a TV Belas vai levar as incidências do mesmo até ao cair da tarde deste dia de quarta-feira. Bom dia e até já.
Caros colegas e convidados, sejam bem-vindos a este Fórum Regional dos Comitês Olímpicos Africanos da Zona 6. Para esta atividade que se enquadra já nos 50 anos da nossa independência, como toda a gente sabe, o nosso governo orientou que depois do dia 11 de novembro, todas as atividades a partir de anteontem até o 11 de novembro de 2025 serão enquadradas nos festejos dos 50 anos da nossa independência. Também temos a feliz coincidência desta atividade estar a realizar num período que está declarada a luta contra a agressão, a luta de proteção do género durante um período de cerca de 20, 25 dias. Teve a nossa Comissão de Mulher e o Desporto, teve o nosso Comitê Olímpico o arrojo de trazer para Angola a organização desta conferência, a quem o Comitê Olímpico agradece às autoridades aqui presentes de terem confiado a Angola esta organização. Vamos contar com a presença de 90% praticamente dos países da Zona 6, que começo por enumerar. Temos na sala o representante do Malawi. O representante do Malawi, pode se levantar, por favor. Can you stand up? Thank you. Representante do Malawi. Temos representante de Moçambique. Namíbia. Sim. Ok, teve que regressar hoje. Namíbia esteve aqui conosco, mas teve que regressar por causa de um problema de ordem pessoal. Temos representante da África do Sul. South Africa. Da Zâmbia. Zimbábue. Lesoto, Botswana, Eswatini e, naturalmente, de Angola. Representante de Angola, por favor. Caros convidados, para terem uma noção da dimensão nacional dessa atividade, também entendeu a nossa organização trazer para este fórum 14 representantes das nossas 18 províncias, que passo a apresentar muito rapidamente. Temos a representante de Malange, Zaire, Huila, Dubié, Duambo, do Namibe, Quando Cubango, do Mochico, da Lunda Sul, de Cabinda, de Benguela, do Kwanza Sul e, naturalmente, de Luanda. Penso ser um privilégio termos conosco 14 representantes das nossas 18 províncias e 10 países representados da Zona 6. Para este primeiro ato, vamos ter o discurso de abertura e palavras de boas-vindas preferidas pelo Dr. Gustavo da Conceição, o ilustre presidente do Comitê Olímpico, de seguida do Sr. Alfredo Foloco, que é o presidente da Zona 6 dos Comitês Olímpicos, e da senhora Matoang Maiola, que é representante do CIO e a chairman do ANOCA. Queremos também agradecer ao Dr. Fernando pela representação de Sua Excelência, Sr. Ministro dos Desportos, que temos conhecimento que não se encontra em Luanda. Muito obrigado pela sua presença. Sem mais demoras, Dr. Gustavo da Conceição, cedo-lhe o espaço para as palavras de boas-vindas. Muito obrigado.
Excelência, Sr. Presidente da Zona, Excelência, Sra. Vice-Presidente da Acnoa e Presidente da Comissão de Igualdade de Género do nosso continente, digníssimo representante do Ministro da Juventude e Desportos, caros colegas membros do Comitê Olímpico Angolano, caras colegas membros da AMUD, caros delegados, é com prazer que dou as boas-vindas a todos a este Fórum Regional de Igualdade do Género. Este fórum é um desafio para cada um de nós, um desafio que não se encerra na nossa atividade desportiva. As mulheres têm mostrado, por via do desporto, que são capazes de liderar processos, são capazes de se superar e ganhar medalhas, são capazes de se ultrapassar e representar comunidades, e por isso esse fórum é uma oportunidade para refletirmos sobre uma injustiça que temos quando não assumimos a igualdade do género como um desafio permanente. É preciso continuar a encorajar as mulheres. É preciso reconhecer que elas representam mais de metade da humanidade. E por isso é com todo o mérito que lutam para estar no seu verdadeiro lugar na nossa sociedade. Por isso temos que estar juntos, refletir, discutir e encontrar caminhos que materializem essa igualdade de oportunidades, que ponham nas linhas da frente as qualidades, as capacidades das mulheres operarem as mudanças. Este fórum que organizamos aqui em Angola, regional, que engloba, portanto, todos os países da SADC, é um momento importante para encontrarmos os caminhos da igualdade. Portanto, quero encorajar a todas e a todos os participantes que debatam e reflitam para encontrarmos os caminhos que coloquem a mulher lá onde ela deve estar. Dito isso, quero ratificar o voto de boas-vindas a Angola a todos os delegados. Quero sublinhar as boas-vindas a Luanda, às delegadas da AMUD pelo país fora. Quero agradecer à Acnoa e à Zona por terem confiado em nós para a organização deste fórum e quero assegurar que nós não pouparemos nenhum esforço para corresponder com as vossas expectativas. Dito isso, agradeço a presença de todos e, uma vez mais, sejam bem-vindos ao Fórum de Igualdade do género em Luanda. Muito obrigado.
Obrigado, Dr. Gustavo da Conceição, o nosso digno presidente do Comitê Olímpico. De seguida, convidamos então Sua Excelência, o Sr. Alfredo Faloco, o nosso presidente da Zona 6, no que a ANOCA diz respeito. Mister, you have the floor.
Thank you, the Director of Programs. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to recognize the representative of our Honorable Minister of Sport, Honorable Luis Falcon Pinto de Andre. I hope I've spelled that correctly. Our IOC member and ANOCA chair for gender, Mem Matlahang Moloira Ramahopo, our SG for ANOCA Zone 6, Ms. John Smith, and our host president, my brother, Dr. Gustavo Dias Vaz da Conceição. Bro, I hope I've spelled your name very well. Thank you for this opportunity of hosting us. Ms. Hazel Kennedy, our chairperson for ANOCA Zone 6 Gender Equality Commission, the NOC executive board members of Angola present here. I also would like to pay tribute and recognize the team, the great team in the House, the representatives of our women from the provinces. I think that will be one of our takeaway as we leave this place, members of the ANOCA Zone 6. So women representatives are not only in the capital cities of our countries. So I'm encouraged, Mr. President, that here we have representatives from all the provinces. Congratulations. Our fourth state, whether friend colleagues, the media, I recognize you. Distinguished guests, good morning all. It is an honor for me to open the 2024 Gender Equality Forum here in Rwanda, Angola. I am grateful for this opportunity to stand before representatives across our ANOCA Zone 6 region, each bringing a wealth of experience and commitment to advancing gender equality. This gathering reflects our shared vision of a fair and inclusive sports landscape. And I thank each one of you for being part of this journey. I was asked by the media the reason why we choose Angola. The reason is simple. I think you can see by the attendance itself. So the able leadership of my brother, Dr. Gustavo, I think has been at the core of ensuring that we speak through our women and we're not left behind. No one should be left behind. But of course, I believe the chair for our women movement here will change it from the women to Gender and Equity Commission. Because we are not dealing just with women, we need to deal with all. No one should be left behind. Ladies and gentlemen, today and tomorrow, we come together not just to reflect on where we stand, but collectively chart the path forward. This forum provides us with a unique opportunity, a core learning environment where member countries can exchange insights, experiences, and strategies. Together, we can accelerate the gender equality agenda by learning from one another's successes and challenges, of course. I want to thank the Anoka Gender Commission for their support and guidance, which has been invaluable in setting the stage of this moment. Madam IOC member and chair for Anoka, please pass our gratitude of appreciation to the IOC president, His Excellency Dr. Bach, for this opportunity that he has given, more especially our zone, that we can embark on all these ambitious programs. And of course, His Excellency Anoka President, Brother Mustafa Beraf, for the support that he has continued to render to our zone. Distinguished guests, our discussions will also focus on strengthening the role of gender equality, conditions in promoting the core Olympic values across the region. This emphasis on respect, friendship, and excellence aligns with our commitment to ensure that all voices, especially those of women, have a meaningful role in shaping the future of our sport. As we prepare for the next Olympic quadrennial, leading up to Los Angeles 2028, it is essential for us as NOCs within our region to encourage and support women in taking on leadership roles. I hope our men folk have gotten this one. I'll repeat it. It is our responsibility to encourage and support women in taking up leadership roles as we embark on the journey on the next quadrennial as we head to Los Angeles 2028. Their insights, skills, and contributions are vital to the development of our region sports community, and we must be proactive in removing barriers that hinder their participation. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like also to express our gratitude to the NOC of Angola under the leadership of President Gustavo, their collaboration with Anoka Zone 6 in hosting this forum. Your efforts have been critical in making this gathering possible, and we are grateful for your hospitality and dedication to advancing gender equality in sport. You may wish to know that as president of Anoka Zone 6, I am incredibly proud of what we have accomplished together this year. From safeguarding to clean sport, governance, sustainability, marketing and communications, I think our achievements span multiple areas. And none of this would have been possible without the collective efforts and commitment of each member country. We have made remarkable strides, and it is through these gatherings like this that we'll continue to build a more inclusive and forward-thinking sports community. Let us use this time together to inspire each other and create lasting strategies for progress. Our journey toward gender equality is one of the shared responsibility, and I am confident that together we will continue to make meaningful strides. Obrigado. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best.
Obrigado, Mr. Alfred Foloco. Convidamos então, ainda na senda de palavras de boas-vindas, convidamos Sua Excelência, Senhora Matioang Moiloa, I'm sorry about, membro do Comitê Olímpico Internacional.
Thank you, Program Director. Allow me to recognize the presence of the representative of the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport, and my President has already mentioned the name, so allow me not to go that route. I always think that my name is long and difficult, but coming to Angola, I've learned better. President of Acnoa Zone 6, Mr. Alfred Foloko, Madam Secretary General of Acnoa Zone 6, Madam Joan Smith, President of the NOC of Angola, Dr. Gustavo, member of Angola National Olympic Committee Executive Board that are with us today, Gender Equality Representative of Acnoa Zone 6, Madam Hazel Kennedy, Vice Presidents of and Secretary Generals of NOCs that are present with us in this forum, dear delegates and guests, allow me to convey a message of gratitude to the representative of the Honorable Minister. Your being here at this forum is a clear indication that you and the government of Angola hold the issues around gender equality with very high esteem. Honorable representative of the Minister, dear delegates, allow me also to thank the President of Acnoa Zone 6, Mr. Foloko, for his consistent support to the gender equality call and striving to be a leading zone in gender equality representation across all levels in sport. Mr. President, we want to assure you that we want to keep this position. Let me congratulate the President of Angola NOC, my dear brother, Gustavo, for hosting this Gender Equality Zonal Forum. I just want to add, I think myself, Madame Hazel and Joan will recall the passion that the President showed to us when we told him that we'd really like to host the forum here. Thank you very much for driving that. And thank you for your warm hospitality. We also want to thank your team that has received us very warmly from yesterday and day before. Mr. President, this forum is happening, and it is happening at a very historic time in Angola, at the start of the 50th anniversary celebrations of Angola's independence. Ladies and gentlemen, let us take this opportunity to commemorate this milestone while making the forum a very successful one. Why are we here? Why are we here? Why have we traveled this long to be here? The aim of the forum, as the President has already alluded to, is to shape our future into 2025-2028, while taking stock of the achievements that we have done in the past quadrennium and not losing sight of the challenges that still lie ahead of us, both on and off the field of play. As a zone, we look ahead and we want to accelerate a number of breakthroughs for more women athletes in terms of participation and aiming and participating in sport. As such, we must strive to have gender balance even at the leadership level, because we need the correct mindset at that level. We want more women coaches, President. We want more women technical officials, and we want more chef de missions. As you will recall, we were aiming at having more chef de missions at the Paris 2024 Games. But with the short survey that we have just undertaken this morning, you will see that we have not made much progress from 2020 in Tokyo to Paris 2024. So that area we still need to cover. We have recently witnessed Paris 2024 becoming a platform for equality. While we displayed 50-50 representation of genders on the field of play, we had 50% representation of athletes. But at the same time, we have not made progress in terms of the coaches that accompanied these athletes. We have not made progress in terms of the international technical officials at the games. We have not made a lot of progress in terms of games management at these games. So now, Let us bring this home. We are here today. How do we set our next steps and see to it that even more sustainable gender balance approaches like gender budgeting? How do we see that we address issues like gender balance budgeting in our next quadrennial plans? We have to remain vigilant whilst we start our planning ahead of the next quadrennial. Let me take this opportunity to thank the speakers that have put in a lot of time and effort, and most importantly, their valuable contribution to make this forum a success. We also thank Angola NOC for the work that they've done and in organizing this event. Furthermore, we want to thank Olympic Solidarity for the support, for supporting us in this event and making it possible for us to chart the way forward. We need to continue the journey beyond what we have achieved so far. At the end of the forum, we expect to be able to come up with a solid focus of our way forward into 2025-2028. And not only that, we also need to have a clear progress tracking system that we'll put in place in this quadrennial. Therefore, I want to appeal to all the delegates and all the participants to fully engage throughout the forum with excessive or more energy than ever before. Remember that your contribution and your expertise is necessary to shape the future into a sustainable gender balanced ecosystem on and off the field of play. With these few words, I want to thank you all for being here, and thank you very much.
Muito obrigado, senhora Matoang Mayoloa, muito digna representante do Comitê Olímpico Internacional. Naturalmente, o desporto, o olimpismo, caminham sempre de mãos dadas, de braços dados com a cultura. E não quisemos nós, angolanos, e se me permitem a redundância, a boa maneira angolana, quisemos também brindar os nossos convidados para um pequeno momento de animação cultural, representado pelo grupo Marimba, para terem uma pequena noção de que apenas com instrumentos acústicos, com as suas vozes, com ritmos e bailados da nossa região, conseguimos animar pequenos e grandes momentos. Para os vossos aplausos, o agrupamento, os Marimbas. Realmente é a simbiose perfeita entre o desporto, o olimpismo, a cultura, e como vamos falar muito de mulher, sejamos honestos em assumir que as mulheres trazem para essas expressões culturais uma expressão corporal que encanta-nos a todos. Bem-aja as mulheres. Vamos então fazer a primeira pausa, não propriamente um intervalo. O primeiro tema vai ser apresentado exatamente dentro de 15, 20 minutos. Vamos aproveitar agora esse espaço de tempo para aqui no hall de entrada fazermos uma fotografia de família. Portanto, eu estive ali a falar com as minhas colegas da organização e o que sugerimos é utilizar as escadas que estão aqui no coisa. Vamos tentar pôr as pessoas por ordem para que possamos então fazer uma fotografia para a eternidade. Portanto, não é propriamente um intervalo. Queria alertar aos dignos participantes, por favor, para não se dispersarem aqui da zona. Imediatamente após a fotografia, retomamos os nossos lugares e vamos partir então para o primeiro tema, que é onde estamos. Muito obrigado. Agradeço então que as meninas do protocolo encaminhem primeiro os nossos convidados, que sejam posicionados, e depois todos os participantes ali nos degraus aqui de frente. Obrigado e até já. Uma correção pertinente do Sr. Presidente. Menina, peço desculpa. I'm sorry, sir. Vamos primeiro posicionar as nossas delegadas, os nossos convidados, e as nossas autoridades regionais vão então no fim. Por isso, vamos aguardar aqui um bocadinho. Vamos primeiro posicionar os convidados e as nossas delegadas das diferentes províncias. Muito obrigado. It's okay? Okay. Colegas, mais uma vez, por favor, retomem os vossos assentos, que vamos dar continuidade aos nossos trabalhos. O primeiro tema proposto tem o título Onde estamos? É um tema desafiante. A organização propõe-se fazer uma recapitulação para nos situarmos exatamente onde estamos neste momento. Para este tema, convidamos então a senhora Hazel Kennedy, por favor, que será acompanhada mais uma vez da senhora Matoang Moyoloa. Tem a palavra, por favor.
Thank you. Thank you, Pedro. Good morning, everybody. The sessions begin. The sessions begin. For those of you that joined us at the AGM of Anoka Zone 6, you will know where we left off and what our aspirations going forward were. I am going to present to you the same program that I presented earlier on. And for the zones, this is important for you to take note that, as you know, our strategy from the beginning has been to ensure that we have in place a plan, that this zone makes a difference in Africa, and that our plan is going to result in some positive actions for the women. So we are very, very serious about taking the women forward. So today we are in Angola. As we promised, we would have a physical forum. And today, this is what has happened. Thank you very much again to Angola for making this possible. Thank you to the Olympic Solidarity for the support and finance they've provided. And we're very pleased that we can end the year with our commissions and knowing exactly what it is that we are going to talk to you about today, and hopefully how we can progress. So, my presentation is out there for all of you to see. I am going to briefly go through that. Before I do that, I recall Pedro mentioned that I will be presenting here with Madam Matlahang, our IOC member and Anoka chairperson. However, we have reviewed it a little bit. And I think it is better I will present where are we and remind all of you here as to our current status. This is important that we must take responsibility for our current status. Where are we? And then I think after the commissions represent, which will be after the break, we will hear from all of you as to exactly what has been happening in your countries. And after that, Madam Matlahang will then come on board to talk to us about Paris, to talk to us about the statistics that are prevailing currently at the IOC, and so that we can have an engagement and discussion to understand where the gaps are and how we are going to address them. So bear with us that we've made a slight adjustment to the program, and Matlahang will be speaking after your presentations. So for us, where are we? I'm going to remind you of our mission. On our plan, our mission is to transform and transit Zone 6 into a gender-balanced and inclusive region. Inclusivity has become a major aspect. We can no longer just be talking about women. It is more than just women. So all of us, as we are planning, we need to be mindful of that. We still ask for statistics of women because it's necessary that we are visible and it's necessary to support our portrayal. But it's important that we understand this is an inclusive program. We need to recognize everybody. Nobody can be left out, as was earlier mentioned by the speakers. So, to transform and transit Zone 6 into a gender-balanced and inclusive region. Stakeholder engagement and delivery. You know that we worked very hard to put our plan together. It was not something we just thought about. We engaged the IOC, we engaged ANOCA, looking at the strategy, and we looked at the UN Generation Equality Principles, and of course we had a meeting amongst ourselves as Zone 6. So when we put the plan together, we tried to ensure that all of us must buy into the plan. This is not our plan, it's not my plan, it is not Madam Matlahang's plan, it is our plan as a zone, and we must take ownership for this plan. So the ANOCA Zone 6 Gender Equality Commission, in consultation and collaboration with our stakeholders, we crafted and launched our plan on the 18th of June 2022. This action plan is drawn from the guidance and direction of ANOCA Gender Equality Commission plan. So we are talking to our mother body. Our plan is talking to the ANOCA plan. It is not without. We looked at 5 specific areas, and this plan is for 2020 up to 2024. We come into the end of our plan now. So those countries that have addressed most of these areas will already be thinking about what do we put in the next quad. And I think the IOC member just spoke about it right now. We will at some point have to review our plan going forward. And this forum must provide us an opportunity to look at recommendations that will come from you on the floor to help us now recraft a new plan for the next quad. But right now, these are the very important pillars that we have recognized. Sports participation, governance and leadership, safeguarding and safe sport, portrayal, funding and resource allocation. Now, yesterday we had a small chat with our Angolan hosts, and it keeps coming out about portrayal. Perhaps Madam Matlang will speak more on it, but I just wanted to simply put it across there that the portrayal is the fact that we are never in the picture. No matter what effort we do, no matter our numbers in some cases, we are never in the picture. When I say in the picture, I'm looking at the structures in the places of the NOCs. Where are the women? Are the women always included in everything? And what do we do about it? We must ensure if there is 2 positions, perhaps one should be for a man and one should be for a woman. So our portrayal is important. We need to demand to be visible in everything that is happening at our NOCs, in every aspect of our strategies. Where are we? What is our portrayal? And of course, the funding and resource allocation, let's get involved. These are the 5 pillars that we need to address to help us as women move forward. Next slide. Sorry. Yes, forward and back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your attention, if we can have it. NOC female representation. Oh, I'm going back. Here we are. We'll take you back to this slide. Actions and perspectives. So we had to look at how are we going to streamline our activities in the zone? How are we going to start addressing the concerns of the women? And we looked at the actions and perspectives. So we wanted to streamline our activities and ensure something sustainable, not just a one-off, but something we can work on, something that is going to lead to progress. And what we believe is really important is that all our countries, all of you today here, should already be talking to your own plan. Yes, we've given you a plan. This is your skeleton plan that you must work with. But you must be talking to your own plan. We recognize in the first instance that every country has relative aspects that concern it. And what is important to me in Zambia may not be so important to you in Angola. But with the guidelines of our pillars, we need to create our own plan so that we talk into the plan and our plan talks into our NOC strategies and we have a good relationship so that we can actually have success from the plan that we put together. So I still want to challenge you today that as much as we have a zonal plan, it is extremely, extremely important for every country, every commission chairperson must insist that the NOC supports them to have their own commission plan. The plan must be relative to the country's situation. The plan must relate to the 5 focus pillars that we have agreed upon, and actions should be formulated to address a minimum of 1 focus area at a time. So as much as we have 5 pillars, we have 5 action areas. It's important, depending on your situation relative to you in your countries, that you select which one are you most concerned about. A minimum of at least 1. Those countries that can do 5, we're extremely happy. Those countries that can do 3, you are going to stand strong for us. But definitely every country after the Quad should be able to stand up and talk about 1 or 2 pillars that they have addressed in their countries and that they are comfortable with as they move forward to recreate their new plans. The actions must be smart and aligned to the NOC strategy. This is very, very important. Because if your action is not in line with your NOC, then how do you expect to get support from your NOC? We don't have anywhere where we get support. We get our support from the NOC. We are part of an NOC structure. And for us to be successful, we need to be in line with the NOC structure. Now, you might find perhaps in your NOCs, maybe there's a gap. We want to hear about that gap because it's important for us to know what the gaps are as we plan ahead. If there are gaps in your NOCs and maybe your NOC has not taken the Commission into consideration in terms of the 5 pillars, in terms of your needs, looking at finances, then you need to highlight that aspect. And there are many ways that we will try to engage, even from the NOC level, so that we are working together. The President is very strong to support women, and if we need to turn his hand to talk to one country or another country, we will do that. We will do that, because I think it's very important that we go together as a zone. So please, it's important that you put mind to this. So this is just to show you the female participation and representation in our zone. You can see from there that SASCOC is leading together with Botswana with 50-50% in their structures. So they have gone a step forward. Their structures demand 50-50%. I think they have found their challenges in that, but they're dealing with those challenges. And I'm hoping later on, as we talk about governance, we're going to hear just how they deal with some of these challenges. SASCOC, they have 50-50%. Botswana, 50-50%. Angola is doing well with 40%. Lesotho, 41%. Mozambique, 30%. Zambia, 30%. Zimbabwe, 41%. Eswatini 30%, Namibia 45%, and there's an omission there. Malawi is still at about 20%. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done there, but we are progressing. And I think when we last had this discussion, Malawi already told us that they had put in place a lot of actions to try to address this. So we are moving, and we want to support each other, and we need to move together. So this is where we are as a zone. And really, we want to thank those countries that are well above the requirement of 30%. This is where we want to be. We all need to be above 30%. We want that visibility. When you see a man from Angola, you must see a woman from Angola. And likewise in every other country. So it's important that we demand this all the time. The challenges. The challenges, I think, are the same. We're going to hear from you today when you give your presentations. But I think the challenges are more or less the same. And we continue to try to mitigate these challenges. So, within ourselves, there's no clear mapping and statistics for gender status within the NOC stakeholders. Your stakeholders as an NOC, leaving yourself as a commission, your stakeholders as an NOC, are we aware of what exists in our stakeholders? We're talking about the national federations. Where are they? If you want women in the NOC and you have no women at national level in your federations, how are you going to get women in your NOC? So, have you done some mapping? Have you looked at that? What is your NOC doing to help you address that? What other areas can you get hold of? Who can you contact? Who should you engage to help you in this area? We talk about government, we talk about your national sports councils. All these bodies that relate to your NFs need to be looked at, because this is where you're getting your women folk from. So we need to understand our mapping. Are we aligned? There's no alignment and focus of gender plans within the NOC strategy. I mentioned that just now. We need to make sure that as the NOC Secretary Generals are making their budgets and plans, they should not forget us. We need to be there. We need to have a little niche there. They need to include us, okay? Safeguarding, I think everybody, from what I've seen and from the forums we have had and workshops, safeguarding is doing well. But it's not something that you do once and it ends. It's continuous. It doesn't stop. Problems continue. Safeguarding and understanding relative environments, our relative environment, and having a strategic approach is very important all the time. So, do we all have safeguarding officers? Are they certified under the IOC? What are we doing about it? How are we addressing our federations to ensure that our women are protected in the national federations through safeguarding? How are we addressing this? We need to take an interest and look into that. We're coming back to funding and portrayal. Insufficient funding, usually we don't have much funding. This is a fact. No focused budget allocation in line with specific goals. Once more, we are out of sync with the NOC strategies, and we need to get into the NOC strategies. We need to be part and parcel of their thinking. Unequal representation in NOC strategy, minimal collaboration, and no clear measurable goals. Are we involved when they are making plans? How much are we involved? Do they take into consideration our needs, our concerns? Right now we're talking about technical people. For me to get a technical official to be ever present and be on top of things, what should I do as an NOC to ensure that I facilitate a female technical official, because the needs of a female technical official might very well be more than that of a man. Maybe she's married, she has children, she could have the best knowledge, the best everything. What are we doing to support this? How do we facilitate to ensure that she's included? How do we ensure that we encourage our women to take up the technical aspect and not feel that they can't do the technical because they have other needs, they have other commitments? So all these are challenges that we need to look at. Governance and leadership. This one is true to most of our NOCs and something that we need to look at. Do we have a governance strategy? Our findings are that we have no governance strategy to support deliberate actions for gender leadership development. I believe that a lot of NOCs have started to do this now, but it's something which needs to be entrenched in our statutes, something that we need to look at and something that we must support. No sustainable pathways in the NOC structures to address gender leadership gaps. So, we come to the slide, how can we help? The slide that has brought us here now, in this forum, for us now to talk about, engage, deliberate, and hopefully we will come up with some recommendations that we can take forward to help us set out our plan for the next quadrennium. So, ensure all member countries have a functioning Gender Equality Commission and Gender Equality Plan. We have to do this. Encourage member countries to undertake a baseline study of their stakeholders to establish gender-inclusive needs. Talking to our NFs, talking to our stakeholders. This is very important. Having a database at NOC level to understand where we are with our national federations. Consider as a priority focus the need to address governance policies and structures in terms of fair and inclusive leadership. This one is really detailed, it's very important, it's going to talk into your constitutions, it's going to talk into your statutes. You might find it very difficult in your NOCs. A lot of people might not like the idea of changing this and changing that, but I think it's something that we need to address. We need to bring it out there and say, no, hang on. You have not specifically catered for us. Why are there 3 men and no women? There's a new structure. So what have you done about the women? Where are we sitting in the new structure? Unless it's in your constitution, unless it's in your statutes, the men will brush you aside. So our job is to make sure we're in the statutes. Then we don't fight with anybody. The statutes will talk to the office will facilitate. And this is what we want. So, advocate for all NOCs to have a safeguarding policy addressing relative concerns and issues to support gender and inclusive sport. This is advocacy, advocacy, advocacy. And this one, we don't stop. This one is now in our faces. We're talking about it all the time. There's no games that happen without this being a major aspect. Okay? Review the Gender Equality Commission plan in line with the NOC strategic plan and provide for regular monitoring initiatives. We have to police our NOCs. You have to police your CEOs and SGs. When you feel they've left you out of something, it's your job to police them, to nudge them, to remind them, hey, 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 here we are not in line. Here we need to be in line. So here we're talking a lot of collaboration. There's always a lot of collaboration. We are forcing you to work with your NOC in a very positive way. And of course, hold annual forums like this one so that we can engage and review and we can plan. And today, this is what we will be doing as we look forward to the next quad. Anoka Zone 6 2024 GE Forum. These are the basic points that I've tried to put out here, just to make it easy for you. I will distribute this presentation to everybody after. So, remedies, remedies, remedies. And that is the end of my presentation. I thank you very much. So like I said earlier, I think we are due for a coffee break. And then we are going to have the commission speaking. We will try to see how we'll talk to our ladies. We will try to put it in order so that everybody knows when they're going to speak. But coffee break, and then the commissions will come on board to talk about their countries, to talk where they are. And after that, Matlang will come on to address us and give us a preview of the Paris Olympic Games, what happened there, where we are as women, and also to try to bring out the statistics, which are very important, so that we truly understand where we are sitting right now. If there's no more questions, or if there are any questions for me, I'm available, and then we go to coffee. Any questions from the floor? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Uma vez mais, bom dia, prezados teleinternautas da TV Belas. Ouvíamos Hazel Kennedy, a zambiana, que de resto fez um resumo da participação dos comitês da Zona 6 nos Jogos Olímpicos de 2024 em Paris. Fez também um recuo para olhar a realidade dos comitês da Zona 6, a sua realidade, o contexto atual, onde exatamente nos encontramos, e também fez uma apresentação dos desafios, olhando para aquilo que deve ser a posição, o posicionamento das mulheres a nível da sua inclusão nas mais variadas comissões e também associações. Me refiro propriamente aos comitês olímpicos. Trouxe aquilo que é o gráfico e quem está, inclusive, melhor posicionado a nível de integração e também participação. O Zimbábue aqui a liderar com 50%, Angola tem 40% de inclusão feminina nos mais variados comitês, quer o olímpico, quer também fala da sua representação a nível daquilo que é a Associação da Mulher Angolana e também o desporto. Trouxe o seu contexto e levou-nos a um curto intervalo para o coffee break. Dentro de instantes vamos avançar para o próximo painel e nós fazemos aqui também um ponto e vírgula. Regressamos daqui a pouco.
tema para cada país da nossa zona. Aqui representado, que está em número de 10, vai fazer uma breve de perguntas e respostas. Então, eu vou convidar a nossa assistente para fazer a chamada por ordem dos países. You have the floor, please, for the calling countries.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. For those who I haven't greeted yet.
Fazerem as respectivas apresentações dos seus países e será feita país por país, numa ordem que a própria organização vai chamar dentro de instantes para a vossa especial atenção.
Very healthy because those ginger balls, and my friend Susan introduced me to one of those balls, and it's just amazing. Thank you. What we're going to do is we're going to present. Each country is going now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a test. Let's do it as informal as we can, because we are women. You know, we do things very cool. So each country will have about 10 minutes. Unfortunately, you can't get more than 10 minutes because our broadcasting guys told me it's important for us to stick to time. So each country will have 10 minutes, and we just want to come and tell us. Where are you? What was your activities over the past year? And how does the way look forward for you? And not all of you have presentations, but that's fine. The presentation is not the thing, the content that you are going to share with us, that's very important. So I'm going to call first on Tebu from Botswana to come and... Oh, are we going with Eswatini first? Okay, sweetheart, then we need to put on the presentation of Eswatini. Ntlantla, are you going to present? Yes, sweetheart, so you can come and then we will put on your presentation.
Test, okay.
You can change the slides.
Thanks very much for the opportunity. As Madam has said, I'm Dlamini Nhlanhla from Eswatini. I'm representing Eswatini. I won't waste time. I'll just go straight to the presentations. As she has said that we have only 10 minutes to present. What I'm going to present is just our major achievements in this quadrennium, that is from 2021 up to 2024. We have an active Gender Equity Commission in Eswatini. We have conducted a major gender equity survey in Eswatini, which gave an overview of landscape of equity in our country. It was deployed late in 2023. In April 2024, we hosted a gender equity forum, which was a success. In cooperation with the Sports Council, we hosted also a Women in Sports Day in May 2024 this year. We formed a network of women administrators where information is constantly shared, and we empower each other from March 2024 to date. In May this year, we conducted sports administration courses, 2 sports administration courses, where we have achieved 55% women participation. Currently, we are mentoring 5 women in administration. We are also, among the 5, 3 of them, they are in leadership. 1 in finance and the other one is in administration. From the last Olympic Games that we had in Paris, we had 3 athletes, where 1 athlete was a female. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sweetheart. Let me use this one. Ladies and gentlemen, Eswatini did a gender equality forum also this year, which was extremely successful. And Eswatini, we will appreciate if you can share, just online, if you can share some of the outcomes of your gender equality forum that you did earlier this year, and we can share that also by email, with the rest of the group. All fine, Marty? Is it fine? Okay, there is a survey that our IOC member requested. So I'm just requesting you, it's a very plain and simple little thing with information that she needs. So if you can send it on WhatsApp, to Hazel, then we will appreciate. Our next country, Lesotho. No, we don't have a presentation for Lesotho online.
Yeah, we said you are. From Matato's email. To ask them if they could share that information with us. It gave them a lot of background of where to start and what to do going forward. So if they could share that information with us, please, on the network. Thank you.
Possible that we can move on to the next country while I'm waiting for this one? Mozambique. Thanks, Gabriel. Ok.
Bom dia a todos. Vou me permitir, eu vou ter que aproveitar a língua que eu melhor vou fazer aqui uma breve apresentação. Dizer que eu sou Gabriel Nguenha, do Comitê Olímpico de Moçambique. Nós, no Comitê Olímpico de Moçambique, já temos uma estrutura formal que tem a ver com a mulher e o desporto. Nós chamamos da Comissão da Mulher e o Desporto. Foi criada em 2017 e tem estado a trabalhar no sentido de criar atividades principais ligadas aos principais problemas que a mulher e o desporto observa no país. Discute-se ainda os desafios que são encontrados e também criar estratégias para, de fato, garantir que a mulher tenha o seu espaço, sob o ponto de vista de treinador, de fisioterapeuta, de gestora, de liderança, no âmbito do desporto, a nível do Comitê Olímpico Nacional e também no país. Dizer que no Comitê Olímpico Nacional temos, felizmente, 3 comissões que são lideradas por mulheres, que é a primeira, a Comissão da Mulher e o Desporto, a Comissão do Meio Ambiente e a Comissão Médica. Portanto, são alguns, digamos, resultados que nós já alcançamos formalmente. E em 2020 realizou-se um fórum anual que tivemos como resultado a compilação de um código de conduta. Código de conduta este que prevê alguns princípios gerais que devem ser observados no âmbito da prática e da participação da mulher no desporto. Um outro aspecto não menos importante é que neste momento estamos atrás de um processo que tem a ver com a elaboração de uma base de dados. Base de dados esta que deve ter números de mulheres que praticam desporto e também categorizamos se são treinadores, são fisioterapeutas, estão a liderar algumas instituições específicas, como é o caso das associações, das federações, que com base nesta informação nós possamos, de facto, encontrar estratégias válidas, alinhadas com aquilo que a região recomenda que os comitês olímpicos desenvolvam. Temos estado também a incentivar a mulher para participar em cursos diversos, cursos de treinadores, sobretudo, sem ignorar aqueles que já fiz menção. Treinadores porque em algum momento, quando nós fizemos algumas pesquisas, nos deparamos com a situação, por exemplo, de algumas raparigas ou mulheres que desistem da prática desportiva por falta, digamos, ou por questões ligadas ao assédio sexual. E quando nós olhamos para aspectos ligados ao safeguarding, vamos encontrar lá que é importante. Nós temos treinadores, sim, masculinos, mas também é preciso ter uma treinadora para que sempre acompanhe o trabalho dos atletas em diferentes níveis. Temos também estado a envolver, sobretudo, as autoridades administrativas do país, no sentido de, em primeiro lugar, usar o desporto como uma plataforma de desenvolvimento ou de empoderamento da própria mulher. E temos estado a ter bons resultados nesta área. Temos membros do Comitê Olímpico que são presidente das federações desportivas nacionais. E isso é um passo que nós temos estado a dar. E vou terminar a minha apresentação por falar de dois desafios que nós temos. O primeiro tem a ver com a exiguidade de recursos. São poucos recursos e financiamentos que nós temos para dar vazão às atividades que são alinhadas para esta comissão, o que tem a ver com a mulher, igualdade, equilíbrio da mulher no desporto. E um outro aspecto tem a ver com barreiras sociais. O nosso país, de alguns cantos do país, sobretudo as zonas recônditas, olham para a prática do desporto como se fosse uma atividade meramente masculina. E nós temos estado a trabalhar com as autoridades lá nos distritos, lá nas províncias, no sentido de passar esta mensagem de que o desporto não é apenas para os homens, é também para as mulheres. E neste processo todo temos convidado atletas de sexo feminino, olimpianos ou que têm estado a participar nos Jogos Olímpicos, e usamos esses atletas ou essas atletas como referência, que é para ver, que é para termos atleta, por exemplo, do boxe, que é Radi Gramane, Alcinda Panguana, ou temos outra da Vela. Eles olham, as raparigas nas escolas, sobretudo, quando nós passamos por lá, olham para as crianças, para aqueles atletas como referência. Então também é possível que eu vá aos Jogos Olímpicos, é possível que eu também pratique o desporto. Então são alguns aspectos que nós já sabemos muito essenciais, mas há um outro ganho muito importante que temos observado a nível do Comitê Olímpico de Moçambique, que é a questão de a Comissão da Mulher define suas atividades que tem em manga e são compiladas e colocadas no plano anual de atividades do Comitê Olímpico de Moçambique. Esse é um aspecto muito importante que eu gostaria de fazer menção aqui. E pela atenção dispensada, muito obrigado.
Thanks, Gabriel. What is amazing about Mozambique is also the way they involve all the activities within the Olymp Africa Center. And that includes gender equality. So, Gabriel, please convey our message to Penalva. You are doing an amazing job there. I'm going to ask Naomi for Malawi. So we're going to do Malawi. Here we go.
Good afternoon, members. Having two main presenters, let me take this opportunity to open the floor for women presenters. So I'm from Malawi. My name is Naomi. And with the leadership of Honorable Jad Muhango and the Executive Board, we've been running several programs in as far as the 5 pillars of Acnoa Zone 6 are concerned. But before you, I'll present you the project to do with the sports participation, which recently we conducted in November on 19 October, to be specific on the dates. But we've been running several activities to do with governance, safeguarding, as well as governance leadership to encourage women taking leading position in sports. So, okay. What is happening now? Why is it not coming? Come on, we are talking about the gender equality here. Yes, so we had conducted a promotion of girls and women in combat sport. This one was to do It was in line with the Malawi Olympic Committee Strategic Plan 2021-2025, focusing on the KPA number 4, which is to do with the Olympic legacy. To be specific, on under strategy objective number 4, which aim is to increase women participation at all levels at least 30% by 2025. During Hazel's report, she reported that we are on 20%. But our aim is to reach 30% by 2025. So we organized the combat sport. We targeted boxing, judo, and taekwondo. The project aim was to increase and promote active participation of girls and women in combat sport at all levels. And the specific objective was to influence women and girls to take part in sports and leadership position. The other specific objective was to encourage women to speak up and make sure that they know the value of their opinion. That's why you are having me today presenting. Inspire girls to participate in combat sport, because most of the girls believe that combat sport is only for men. But we are saying no, we women, we can also, female participants can also take part in combat sport. And the other objective was to improve the physical and the mental health well-being by providing a structured environment for personal growth. You can agree with me that nowadays the mental health issues is all over, and we are saying no, it's high time we have to make sure to reach out to more girls, to more youth. So try to help the youth for self-control and defense, which would enhance their ability to refrain from bad behaviors and make informed decisions as far as the sports is concerned. So this is one of the pictures. It's not that clear, but this is one of the pictures during the event. You can see how beautiful it is with the makeups of the girls there. So we are saying no, let's fight together. And you can see maybe some of the banners to do safe sport. We believe that sport is a self-involvement. So we are taking each and everyone on board to make sure that we reach we achieve our objectives. So the project was well received. We had 92 participants. This coming from the technical part of it, coaches, referee, and judges. And we had also athletes who directly participated in the project. And it was well welcomed because it was an open event whereby over 1,000 spectators were part of the event. Of course, we had our targeted numbers, which was 264. We were hoping that by the end of the event, we had to register at least 264 new participants or new athletes. However, we also had our mathematics whereby we are saying, okay, we should at least have 224 females and 34 males. While we are talking about gender equality, we should also consider we are not moving away the men. So we had targeted 37 males and 224 females. However, we managed to achieve numbers. You see the graph, maybe 2 or 3 slides to come, to know whether we achieved our objective or not. So before having the main combat sport event, we had the aerobics and the funland just to prepare the athletes, to prepare them to get ready for the event. So we had a 5 kilometers run, which was followed by aerobics before the actual main events of combat sport. So it was one way of assessing that are we really fit to go into the combat sport event, which was organized by that day. So this is one of the picture of the aerobics. And the taekwondo also did their exhibition during now the actual main event of those 3 sporting codes. And immediately after the taekwondo, we started registering new participants. So these 2 girls, they were interested to say, okay, yes, we are joining taekwondo. And for you to to be sure that we are ready. Can you give us a floor? So they were given an opportunity to display their new techniques. So these are just a sample of the new participants which registered on that particular day. And again, judo, almost each and every event in judo, we had very young athletes. And that was very interesting because there was a 4-year-old girl, unfortunately she's not part of the picture, she was very, very active regardless of her age. So, and these are the new athletes in judo. We had these two boys displaying their techniques in judo. Then, of course, we had the boxing, because even myself, before, I was thinking that maybe boxing is not a safe sport. But having seen several boxing events and reaching at this my age, I have witnessed that even had it been that I have a girl, I would have said no. In terms of you doing a sport, why can't you join boxing? Unfortunately, I have only boys. So these girls also displays their techniques during the event. So the project impact. In a short run, we observed that on the very same day, we managed to register 81 athletes out of our targeted 264 athletes, which gives us 31% on the targeted new athletes. However, the project is ongoing. And out of 81, we had 37 females and 44 were male participants, representing 46 and 54% respectively. And those are the numbers. And you can see and agree with me, in Taekwondo, it was, I can say it was at number one, whereby we managed to get at least up to 66 new participants on that particular day. So that's the graph for you to appreciate what we've conducted so far. So there were some challenges, of course, not major ones, which were faced, because being a combat sport, of course, we witnessed some minor injuries, but that was treated on the site. And there were several recommendations which we made to the board, and I'm also appealing to my fellow NOCs to take them in consideration if they are not there already, to make sure that as National Olympic Committees, we need to continue conducting a project targeting women and female athletes if you are to achieve gender equality. And there's always need to have a follow-up when the project is implemented. And all national federation, again, and the Olympic Committee should reserve a position for women to compete against each other. If that can be incorporated in our constitution, that would be a plus. And we are saying that all national sports federations, they should also make sure that they implement safeguarding issues, because some of women, they are shying away to join sports because thinking that sports is not a safe environment. And every sports event, we are saying that we should at least slot a time to have sports, safe sport as a topic. And make sure that all women, we are being supported. Women which we are in sport, we need to be supported. Thank you very much, Mr. President. You are always there for us. And we hope this is just the beginning. Come new quadrennial, you still keep the fire burning. Thank you so much. That was what we have from Malawi. Unless...
Naomi, thank you so much. What an interesting presentation with very good results. Malawi, it needs to be commended. The activities that you did over the past few months, and the inclusion and how you just increased the number of participation of girls. SG Henry, thank you for supporting all these projects. And Malawi, we can just see the way forward. So it's not about, we should not see the leadership figures of Malawi now, but the impact it can have within the next 4 or 5 years. Thank you, Naomi. Thank you. The next presentation, Lesotho. Lesotho now, we are down to 5 minutes per presentation. We can try 7 minutes, Doctor, but let's see if we can do 5.5. No, not at all, Doc. I love you too much.
Okay, thank you. I'll try to be fast, and thank you, Naomi, for warming the seat for me. Okay, I'll just talk about the activities. But we participated very much in those activities to ensure that women representation increases. For instance, you will see that for this year, we keep having continuing education, and for this year we had 4 ASME courses, that is sports. Where do I change? I don't think I know where to change. I don't know where to change. Okay, thank you. Yeah, like I was saying, we had this educational administration of sports. We had 4 sports administration courses. And because even though they are not specific for our commission, we always make sure that when they recruit participants, we insist that there should be women representation. Microphone, not this. Okay. We always insist that women representation is specific, it's significant. So in all those 4 sports administration courses, there are about 35 participants, and we had 40% women representation. And then we had 1 advanced sports administration course, which is a course that takes 1 year, and in that we also had 40% women. And in these courses, we as a commission, we go in there and we present the, gender equality issues. We then had 1 female who completed and acquired MIMOS qualification, and a woman in Sports Leadership Academy who went to England and got this qualification. In November this year, we intend to celebrate what we term Movember. We did it last year, where we highlight the plight of men. Like the president said, it's only women. We are not supposed to be concentrating on women only, but men also, there's abuse. Some men are being abused by women. So we had this march throughout the streets with placards showing encouraging women to speak out and not hide. And we had men who came and talked about their experiences, their abuses that they have encountered. That was very successful, and we are going to hold another one in November, on the 19th of November. Now, our highlight is that project called Emerging Women Leadership Program, a 9-month program where 30 women were recruited. The challenge there was quite huge because, it's not that the national federations do not want to send women for this, to participate or anything, but there's still that resistance. Recruiting these 30 women was very difficult because they kept on saying they don't have women in their federations to bring to this program. Ultimately, we managed to get about, out of that, the federations brought about, I think there were 28 of them, and then we increased not 28, 20 something anyway, and we increased the number to 30 by recruiting from our project. There are some dynamic young ladies in our what we call OYAP, which is Olympic Young Ambassadors Program. We had these 13 ladies. Now they have been onboarded by some of the federations, and also there we got quite a bit of resistance. The national federations did not want to onboard these ladies, but we insisted, and we just gave them the ladies. We are slowly, we are monitoring them, and some of them are really doing a great job. In fact, some ladies have actually come forth to give us a feedback that what they have learned in this program has helped them in their career. Well, 2 ladies applied for higher positions in their corporate world, and because of what they learned from the project, they were able to get to successfully, get the positions, which made us very, very proud. And now we talk about sustainability in these projects. We have had so many activities. Here we are just highlighting, like you see, 2024, because we've been giving reports for other years. We've had so many activities, but we really do not see the impact. I would say probably we were activity-oriented more than impact-oriented. So when it comes to this Emerging Women Leadership Program, to sustain this and make sure that the pipeline that we are trying to strengthen of women in sports, in leadership role stays, these very same ladies we want to turn them into like a workforce or task force or an academy, where we will be sending them to the different districts. In the different districts, we have OVEP academies. There are about 100 and something schools that have this academy, and we'll be working with them to establish gender commissions in the schools. And these ladies who have gone through this program will be sending them there to teach these young ladies, or whatever they can teach them, gender awareness issues, and why it is important that they should stand and for their rights, and they should also be in the leadership in where they have to make decisions for themselves, because lack of women, as we know, in decision-making positions really harm, especially in sports. It harms sports, and not just sports, and economic development as well. So we will be, these ladies will be helping us with that, and this is the only way we think we can be able to sustain or to increase, to strengthen the pipeline of women in the sports leadership roles. Yeah, I think I just wanted to highlight that program. It is really they will be graduating end of this month. Thank you, Jones.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Amazing programs. The Emerging Women Leadership Program, Doc, since Lesotho has already done it and went through the growing pains of doing that. I think what an amazing program to do. And if Lesotho could share that with all the countries, then I think that can become one of our priority projects for next year on our action plans. And that already covers one of our focus areas within the Anoka Zone 6 plan. I just want to mention Matatu, the MEMO's candidate of Lesotho, who completed this year successfully is Matatu. She's here with us. And if, with the permission of my chair and my other chair, I think we're gonna ask Matatu to start the day tomorrow morning, because her research project was all about leadership. And Matatu, maybe you can just introduce us tomorrow morning to your project and what your final recommendations are, because I think that would apply to all of us. Thank you so much. Our next presenter, Namibia. Now, I just want to say to you quickly, we have Justine Amupolo from Namibia. Anna was with her. Most of you saw Anna yesterday and this morning, but this morning at breakfast, Anna got a call that her sister passed away. So we had to get Anna on a flight out this morning, because, you know, in Africa we have one person who's always the pillar in a family, and Anna is that pillar in her family. So it was important for us to get Anna out of Luanda early this morning, and this is why it's only going to be Justine as Namibia. We quickly going to get your...
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, presenting after everyone else. I think I'm the shortest and the youngest in the room. But yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. I think I'm going to be very brief in terms of what our presentation is going to be about. For starters, I think for us, as we start off, is just to say that the Commission obviously started with the appointment of the one and only Justine Hamupolo as the chair of the Commission. So work is about to start, of course, with the assistance of my dear sister Anna Geleni, who unfortunately has to leave, just as Ms. Joe just explained to us. But going into the conversation, I think what is important to highlight for us is that our entire gender equality progress within our country is because of it's an exceptional, you know, it's expectable. Everyone in our country, from government to the bottom, sees this concept as normal, that we should be pushing for gender equality. And because of the political will, you will see that when we talk about governance and leadership representation, that within our own cabinet as government, we have 45% of women within the cabinet. It boils down to our business sector that also speaks to 48%, which includes some of the male-dominated sectors within our country. And then, of course, when we come to our own national federations, most of our leadership positions are taken 30% of female representation in terms of president, vice president, and SJs. And then, of course, within the board of the NOC, executive board of the NOC, we have 45% of female representation. I think this was important to highlight, just to see how it boils from the top to the bottom. So we then further went in to look at what was our athletes' representation within the spaces. And we looked at, when we talk about the 2020 Tokyo, we had 60 female and 40 male representation. When we talk about 2022 Birmingham Commonwealth Games, we had 70 male and 30, but we must highlight that this is because of the qualifications that are important factors there, and that is dependent on how athletes get into that sport. 2023, we had the 50-50 of both male and female at the African Beach Games. And in 2024, of course, we look at, again, the African Games, where we had 45 versus 55 female to male representation. At the Tokyo Olympic Games, again, 50-50. And this, again, speaks to the participation and how we then get the gender equality and of participation of both male and female. Equally said to that, when we look at our officials, we also had a very fair, balanced a representation of equality in terms of male and female officials. However, we must highlight that a lot of work still needs to be done in order to get us more professionals. When we talk of coaches, when we talk of the technical team and or administrators, including our chef de missions, to ensure that we have more female representation, that we have these technical teams that actually talks to the athletes as well. Because at times that might be the challenge because of who the coach is and how we groom our female players also to become successful. Of course, empowerment is also very key to us, and in the past 4 years, the NOC has been very deliberate in ensuring that we have female participation in most of our courses, where we have the support, of course. Where we look at the ICECP, of course, 90% of those participants were female. The ICC, University of Budapest, we had females representation. University of Leipzig, master's degree in Olympic studies. Memos, 90% so far of the participants are female candidates. Master's degree at the National University of Soil, and of course our interns, especially the CGF interns, 100% so far has been female, and I am testimony to one of those. And then of course we talk to our Young Women's Leadership Program, also the CGF, but also to highlight here that our safeguarding officers also going through a course to capacitate her to make sure that that role is also well enhanced in terms of giving out. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to leave you with something that I needed to steal from our IOC president that says, yes, we have made progress. Yes, we can be proud of this. But no, we cannot be complacent because there is still a lot of work to do. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Namibia. Madam Chair, our IOC member, I think it is extremely important that we communicate to our NOCs and make a special appeal that the concentration should be on these courses, so that we ask our NOCs to identify female participants for all these courses, because that is extremely important. Our next country, of course, is Wandi, South Africa. Wandile is the Vice President of SASCOC in South Africa. And yes, Wandi, it's great to have you here. South Africa.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, as stated, I'm Luandile Simelane. I'm the first Vice President of the SASCOC, South African Sports Confederation Olympic and Paralympic Committee. I also serve as the Chairperson of the Gender Commission, and later I'll talk to you of my work as the Chairperson of the Constitutional Review Committee. First slide. Oh, this. Oh, awesome. Ah, there we go. Okay. So, we had elections 2020, where we then formed what was then called Women in Sport. And then after the election in 2020, we changed the name to Mission. The name change was driven by a need to encompass SOGI-esque needs and SOGI-esque discussions as a country who has suffered from the regulations around differences in sex development and DSD athletes. SOGI-esque is an acronym that stands for sexual orientation, gender identity and expression, and sex characteristics. All right. Furthermore, we also felt a need to ensure that we name it the Gender Commission, because issues of gender should not only be the responsibility of women, but the responsibility of all. So calling it a Women's Commission would have put those concerns within the doorstep of women. I served as the chairperson, and the composition of our commission was Ms. Thobela Gleya, who was a representative from the UN Women Office in South Africa, We felt it extremely important to have them as part of our commission. Instead of going to ask them to help us, they were part and parcel of each and every project that we had and were able to assist us with whatever they could. We also had MX Steve Letsike, who, by the way, has now been appointed by President Cyril Ramaphosa in his 7th administration as the Deputy Minister of Women, Youth and Persons with Disability. Okay. Which means that now the priorities on gender that SASCOC can be encompassed in national offices through the drives that she will be putting in that role. So it shows that we're in the right direction of thinking. We did approach her. At that time, she had served as the co-chair of the National AIDS Council, as well as heading up one of the largest LGBTI and transgender bodies in the country. And now she's a deputy minister. We also had a gentleman, Mr. Thabo Moilwa. Because we're a gender commission, we couldn't just have a commission for women alone. As well as 2 representatives from national federations, being Ms. Kielebogile Mukolopa, who is the Vice President of Gymnastics in South Africa, as well as Ms. Jeannie Marie Kutsia, the Secretary General of Wrestling in South Africa. All right, so some of our terms of reference you can see here. These were the things that we focused on within the Olympiad. Sorry, the translator says I'm speaking fast. My apologies. Okay, so we just wanted to show you some of the things we focus on. Okay, and then we had our strategic plan, which was equally aligned with the ANOCA Zone 6, the ANOCA plan, as well as the IOC charters and handbooks on gender equality. Okay. Okay, so the key ideals were gender inclusivity and diversity group with regards to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa that solidifies the need for inclusivity. We had to have a study group put together to study the feasibility of the inclusion of transgender within the scope of South Africa. We felt it important that that be handled by professionals in the medical, the legal, as well as the NGO space, to ensure that we try and find a concept that follows the principles of sports, but does not with the closely held opinions on human rights, which South Africa stands solidly on. Right? We also had awareness and action programs around issues like infrastructure. For example, in South Africa, we still have a major issue in boxing, for example, where if you participate, there is no change rooms for women if you walk into the coaching and training gyms, where they then have to change in public and it becomes a ground for grooming. I'm sure Malebu can tell you about the safe space in that regard. Right, as well as bursary programs, as well as a statistic program. We felt it important to understand where and what we look like in the country. Right, these are some of the partners that we've worked with and the goal to increase participation in sport. Okay, so you can see that we're definitely trying to tap into every single resource within the country. Whether you are a department, we're working with social development, far easier now to work with the Department of Women with our Deputy Minister in play. We work a lot with embassies as well. Okay. These are also some of these strategic plans form the activities that we in the Olympiad. Okay. So these were all covered, these were all addressed, and these were all given credence and importance within the 4-year cycle of the Commission. Okay, we've recently attended all of the requisite seminars on portrayal that were hosted by the IOC. As a country, we acknowledge that we hadn't been too on top of things in that area, and we ensured that our entire commission attends all seminars and ensures that they are informed on this important subject. We equally hosted an event together with the Global Gender Observatory, which our honorable IOC member did attend, which then covered a lot of the issues around portrayal, and it was a picture festival, and it assisted us greatly in teaching, especially our media who are about to embark to Paris, on what the expectations on the portrayal of our athletes will be, particularly our female athletes. Okay, so our strategic framework is aligned with the association of, with ANOCA, Zone 6, as well as ANOCA, with the AUSC, Region 5, as well as with the United Nations Generation Equality. Of course, working closely with the UN Women, it had to be a key ideal for us to ensure that it fits within their scope to participate in what we're doing. Okay, 2024, this was our representation at Olympic and Paralympic Games in 2024. All right, 44.93% of athletes for the Olympics and 29.5% of management for the Olympics, 40% athletes for Paralympics and 50% on management for the Paralympics. All right, so essentially in the overall stats, when we looked at the team from medics, etc., we did hold gender parity at the Games. Okay. We also did host a Gender Commission dinner with our women leaders leading up to elections and national federations to ensure that the ladies are ready to assume leadership positions and understand that it is their responsibility to contest for those positions. We also hosted a gender advancement conference from the 8th to the 10th of February in Sun City, in the Northwest Province. Okay, this is our Bidvest Operation Excellence Program, and this is our funding statistics in ensuring that we have gender responsive funding. Right, so we have to walk our talk. Right, and the medals that we earned in Paris at both the Olympics and the Paralympics were earned equally by men and women. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wandi. The few that I picked up there, Wandi, was the Awareness and Action Program. South Africa, we will appreciate if you can share that with us. The partnerships are extremely important, very, very impressive. The partnerships that take part in all these programs. Your strategic framework, ladies and gentlemen, the funding, the global the inclusiveness of global organizations in the strategic framework, extremely important and very impressive. And then, of course, one thing that I need to mention, I followed our countries in Southern Africa on the media and communications, especially social media, during the Paris Olympic Games. And what South Africa and Botswana did was extremely impressive. So there's so much for us, to learn from one another. These presentations will be shared with contact details of the countries, and you will be able to make direct contact to see how we can partner with one another, because it's very important. Zambia is our next country. Susanna?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to be here and present what we've been doing in Zambia. Commission. Joanne, I can speak without mic. While they're fixing the technical on the big screen, my name is Susanna Dakik from Zambia. And our main focus this year, since it was an Olympic year, is actually to speak to the main pillar on the ANOCA strategic plan, which was portrayal. Portrayal was quite important to us to be seen, to be heard, and to be actually collaborating with all the commissions across the board of under NOCZ Zambia. So one of our main aim was actually to always participate in all the events with other commissions, whether it was an environmental, whether it was safeguarding, and also support all the Olymp Africa projects. That's my old one, Joanne. That's not the one I sent today. In all cases, I'll carry on speaking. I'm sure my voice is loud and you can imagine what we have done. No, I sent the one this morning. Okay. It's on my WhatsApp. Let me have my phone. Okay. I've just WhatsApped it to you.